Hello, every pony. Introduce this Razor Wing.
This is Razorwing Story Time with Michael Moe,
Hello,
Pimpin'
guys.
Peter. How are y'all doing today? We're here reading the story Your Brown Sugar, and we
Oh,
hope y'all
yeah.
enjoy. And it's by Fitness. What's it say?
I'm not sure. It's by Spitness Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, that's it. And we hope y'all enjoy it because this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't
I
noticed by the cover picture, it's a Mr. Cake one with a human.
The cover
Well,
picture is a little bit iffy.
all right, we're going to read the author's notes before we get into the story. Author's notes. The sad tag in this is a bit iffy in this. Also, if you are a fan of me, then big news. There will be a new story after this one. Still have a lot of work to do on others, plus military stuff I got to do. So yeah, don't be mistaken. I am gonna stop. I ain't gonna not. I'm not gonna start writing. So there is that too. All right, you ready to get into the story?
Yeah, let's
Yep.
get into this shit.
All right, here we go. Your brown sugar. You've been working at Sugar Cube Corner for 4 years now. Ever since the owner, Carrot Cake, decided he was gay and left his poor ex-wife, Cupcake, to run the local sweet shop by herself, and with his children, Pound and Pumpkin, to fend for themselves. As he left with nothing more than a wave goodbye so he could, quote, go out and find the man of his dreams. This devastated poor Cup more than anything. After 10 years of marriage to the man she thought she had loved her, she felt apart. She fell apart, crying herself to sleep every night after she put her children to bed. It wasn't until months later, after Carrot left, that you happened to move to the small town of Palmerville from what you heard from your friends from Manhattan. She said the local people were very friendly and crime there was basically non-existent. You were more than happy to her such to her such a thing to hear such a thing. You were able to move in and work at the local bakery fairly quickly after the pink-haired girl named Peaky Pie married her husband and began touring and equestrian creating parties where parties are needed. 4 months passed after you moved in. One particular night, you kept tossing and turning in your bed as you thought of Mrs. Cake. You couldn't get her out of your mind. To you, she was beauty no man could personally resist. Her pink, her bouncy pink hair that swirled on her head that you reminded you of a frosting on a cupcake. Her flawless brown skin. She wasn't a large woman. No, she was plump in all the right places. Her breasts were large in size, double L, you thought. Makes you imagine her beautiful curved figure. Her hips were wide, just the way you love them. Her stomach was flat, just a thin bit of fat, not enough to make her stomach protrude out. Then there was her ass, such a glorious sight to see. You know, if you could get your hands on them, they would overflow in your hands as you jiggled them. Every day when you worked with Mrs. Cake, you couldn't help but stare at her for some time. Her beautiful figure that seemed to dance as she baked. There was the way she swayed her hips as she walked. Her breasts seemed as if they wanted to pop out from her apron anytime she bent over to take some baked goods out of the oven. The way her ass stuck out as she retrieved said baked goods. Mrs. Cake never caught you staring at her. She was far too busy working and taking care of her twins. Every day you worked with her, she put on a happy smile to greet her customers. But you know better. You could see it in her eyes. as you talked with her from time to time. She was miserable. Her life was in shambles because of her that bastard of an ex-husband. The only thing keeping her together was her twins. The night you fantasized about Mrs. Kate was the same night that you started your relationship with her. As things about that beautiful plot-sized woman, you heard a crash coming from down the hall. With speed, you put away the acting manhood inside your shoe. Oh, wait, my. With speed, you put away ashy manhood inside your shirt. I don't know. That's the way it says it. I just don't know if you've done it right. And ran through straight to where he heard the crash. Cup's bedroom. When you entered, you found Cup on the floor crying as she wept, as she wrapped her arms around herself, her foot bleeding from the shattered glass on the floor. Ignoring the glass, you moved quickly over to the crying woman and lifted her up into your arms. She may have a little extra weight, but it was nothing you couldn't handle. Stepping onto the broken glass, you felt shards piercing the soles of your feet as you stopped closer to the bed, ignoring the pain from your bleeding feet. You carried and placed Mrs. Cake inside. You should say, "Oh, you bastard!" inside her bed before you making your
Inside of
way.
her bed.
I know, man. Into the bedroom to grab the first aid kit. When you turned, you saw Cup still crying on as she grabbed onto the white silk sheets on her bed. You swiftly spoke to her as you began to treat her wound. She explained to you what had happened. She was just so very angry when she thought of her ex-husband. She shoved away her bedside table where the glass was vase was on once stood. When she finished explaining what happened, you yourself finished bandaging her feet. When you finished bandaging your own bloody foot, you were about to leave, wishing Kate is having a good night's sleep rest. But it was far not as she grabbed you onto your arm and called out your name. She asked for you to stay, even if it wasn't for a single night. She just didn't want to be alone. With a smile, you crawled into the beautiful, plump, brown woman's bed and laid down right next behind her. Turning her, you held her hand. She thanked you with all her heart for doing this for her. She looked over and stroked her shoulder to look at you with those beautiful magnet eyes. As she stared into you into hers, you couldn't see any pain or sadness in them anymore. Instead, you found happiness as you lay next to her. You had a thought at that moment. You had one single thought in your mind, and you wouldn't to make it happen. Without any thought of the recitation, you moved forward and kissed Cup right on the lips. Her eyes quickly shut open in surprise as you kissed her. You didn't know how long you held her in that kiss, but when you felt her lips pressing back against yours, you couldn't help smile on the inside. When you both backed away from each other, you looked back into Cup's magnet eyes and found more than just happiness in them. You found love. Cup turned her head forward as you watched each other. Good night. Wished each other good night. And you placed your arms around her waist and pulled her in close to you. Before you let sleep take you, you whipped her into one final sentence before the Sandman claims you. I love you, Cup. As the years passed by, the relationship between the two of you grown stronger, strong enough that you proposed to her and got married. You remembered what had happened the following year after you waited. You watched as Pound and Pumpkin walked their first steps, even witnessed their first words, and it was with great joy their first words they spoke was to you when they both called you Daddy. That was one of the greatest days you have ever lived. Even more happy days came when you walked your son and daughter to school every day. Life was good. No, it was perfect. You have your wife by your side as you both worked here at Sugar Cube Corner. Your son and daughter both you see you as the best father ever. Every day you made time to play games with them or to help them with their studies. The immature the immediate moment you shared with intimate that's what it was. The intimate moments you shared with Cup was pure bliss when you made promise passionate love to your beautiful wife. Now it was today. Today started just like any other. You walked your kids to school, then picked up supplies for the bakery. Walking home, you greeted many of the happy people that worked through Ponyville. You laughed as you watched the Apple farmer, Applejack, and her husband Soren have a not so friendly conversation
What?
with their friend Rarity and her husband Thunder Lane. What?
Soren?
Hey, and
Soren
then
got married to Applejack?
yep, and Rarity and her husband Thunder Lane.
What the fuck?
Reaching your home, you walked inside into the kitchen to find Cup putting Thurston on a new batch of cupcakes. You placed all the new supplies on top of the clean counter before making your way to your wife. Wrapping your arms around her waist, squeezing her stomach softly. Cup let out a small eat before Cookie turning around, facing you with a smile on her face. Hey, sexy, you said to her, causing Cut face to blush.
Hey, handsome.
She said before placing a kiss on your lips.
How were the kids on the way to school?
She asked after breaking the kiss. You chuckled as you told her what happened. Well, Pound really didn't want to go to school today when I asked him why. He didn't say anything. Cut's smile fell when she thought the worst.
Oh no, you didn't think you don't think he's being bullied, do you?
You couldn't help but laugh as you shook your head. Not at all. Pumpkin told me he had a crush on one of his class girls in class. Cut's frown turned back into a smile as she giggled.
So young and already noticing the opposite sex.
She said with a laugh. When she finished, she brought her into another passionate kiss just before squeezing her plump bottom. She squeaked once again before breaking the kiss. As you,
Okay, you naughty man, you.
she said as she grabbed your ass.
Why don't you put those supplies away and I'll close up the shop for a bit. That should give us a couple of hours before the kids get out of school.
Give her one more kiss right before smacking her ass. She moaned after the hit, then gave you a sexy smirk as she grabbed your crotch. She moved her hands forward and placed her soft, juicy lips right next to your ear and spoke softly with a seductive tone.
I want you so bad right now.
She said, causing you engaged member to throb in her hand as sheer stuckness in her tone.
Don't keep me waiting now.
With that said, she let go of your member and gave you a quick peck on the lips before walking away. Seductively swaying her hips, crossing her plump button to jiggle with each step sway. It took every ounce of your brain to not grab your wife and make sweet love to her right then and on the kitchen counter. With that thought, while great speed that would make Rainbow Dash jealous, you begin scratching stocking the cells with supplies you bought in exhortation for making love to your sexy, conventions wife. With your stocking the shelves, Cup exit the kitchen door and walk into the entrance of Seafood Corner. But before she placed out to lunch sign on it, she looked back into the kitchen and through the open doorway to see you quickly stacking the shelves.
I love that man.
Cup said before closing and blocking the front door. The bakery turning the will be back soon sign over with a time on 1 hour. Cup turned to the back of the stairway behind her and began to make her way up the steps just before the sound of light knocking come upon the locked door. She ignored it and kept walking up the stairs, but again the knocking at the door sounded.
I'm sorry, we're closed at the moment. Please come back when we have reopened.
She called out from the middle of the stairs, but her words were ignored as a person at the door knocked again. With irritation, Cup walked back down the stairs to the locked door. and Noah's cup unlocked said door and began to open as she again repeated her previous words, not this time with more annoyance.
I'm sorry, we are closed right now. Please come.
She stopped in mid sentence as her eyes grew wide and her harness gone as she caught the sight of the person that knocked at the door. Hello, honey buns. Cut was frozen as what she saw before her. There, Carrot Cake stood looking at to his ex-wife as he's never left all these years ago, as if he never abandoned Cup and her two children. I miss you, honey bun, he said, moving forward, closing in to kiss his ex-wife. But before Carrot could get close enough, Cup moved backwards into the dining area where she actually knocked over a wooden chair. Cup, sweetie, is everything okay? You look like you look like you've seen a ghost, Carrot asked her as he moved aside Cupcake. Super cute corner. Cup shook her expression, shocked expression turned to one of anger as she held out an angry glare to the man before her.
What are you doing here, Carrot? Uh, what do you need to have to come back here?
Cup asked angrily as she crossed her arms, crossed her breast to put he pushed up her cleavage to show further from her V-neck blouse. Carrot Cake's smile faded as he suddenly looked to the ground. I was a fool, Cup. I thought I was gay, but the truth is I'm not. Well, not fully. Carrot looked up to see Cup still glaring anger at him as he went on. I thought of you a lot, and the kids too. I miss you so much. Did you think we could go back the way it used to be? You and me cooking in the kitchens, serving the customers like we used to? Cup's anger glare turned slowly into a smile, and when it did, Carrot couldn't help but smile as he would be getting his to wish to things to return the way it used to be. But her smile soon changed, and when Cup began to laugh, then shook her head just before she called out your name. When you heard your wife call out for you, you walked out of the kitchen, wiping your hands with a towel. Placing the towel over your shoulder, you walked up to your wife, and next to her, you noticed a tall but lanky man standing before her with a frown on his face. Hey, sugar lips, you said, kissing your wife on the cheek. It was hard to giggle and blush, looking at the man in front of you, in front of Kate. You could see he frowned, turned into a scowl as he looked to you. You looked back to your wife to see if she had a smile on to her to his scowl, watching her and confused you. Cup, was there something I missed? Yes, with a raised brow. Yes, the man yelled. That's my wife you just kissed, you son of a bitch.
Ex-wife.
Cup yelled back at him.
I'm your ex-wife, Carrot, and don't forget that. This
She said, grabbing you by your arm, pulling you close.
is my this is my husband. We've been married for 3 years now.
Cup finished showing the diamond ring on her wedding finger. You're married. Remarried. Barrett questioned, and his anger fell into despair.
Yes, I did, Carrot. I married a man who truly loves me with all of his being.
She said before looking to you with a loving gaze.
After that night we shared together, uh, there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't have to put a fake smile on a smile for everyone.
She looked back to Carrot with a frown that was growing deeper with every word she said.
Actually want to thank you, Carrot. After you left, Faust above brought me a magnificent husband, a wonderful father, and a gracious lover.
Your wife placed her beautiful pink lips on yours, and moaned, yeah, or, and moaned as you two passed into each other's lips. The kiss went on for how long you really wasn't sure, but when you looked to Carrot, The tall Lincoln man watched his ex-wife and you kiss, and you saw his lips turn from a frown to that of pure anger. Enough! He yelled, making you and your wife break the kiss. Cup looked at him, a smile graced her lips as she looked into the infuriated man. You two, I want you both gone. This is still my shop, and I want you both gone out right now. Silence befell the three of you as Carrot showed seethed and raged. The Lincoln man huffed and pulled and buffed and puffed as he glared to the two of you. The sound of giggling beside you brought the silence to a stop as your wife began to laugh at Carrot. A few seconds in, you saw yourself begin to laugh as you held your wife's side.
We aren't going anywhere, Carrot.
Cup said to him with a laugh.
You don't own Sugar Cube Corner anymore.
The look on the man's face was priceless as the two of you laughed in front of him. What? You yelled again in confusion. The hell are you laughing at? I own this place. Now both of you get out. Again you both laughed, but this time you could feel tears start to fall from your eyes as you did. You said it was time to halt your laughter and tell him the truth. Carrot, you began, his anger looking to you. Like Kep says, you don't own Super Pony anymore. After you left to wherever it is you went, things had gotten bad here. And with Pinky gone, it was all up to Kep not only to take care of the shop, but her also take care of the twins. Things got so things began to get worse, and the bank was going to foreclose. The bank was going to foreclose on the property, but that is where I come in. I paid every single bit for this ownership of this shop, but what was that was before I married my beautiful wife. So, Carrot, you asked us to leave our home is not out of the question. In all honesty, I think it's best you leave. Carrot's anger grew more and more when he realized he couldn't kick you both out of the property. He doesn't own it. He began to bull his hands into a fist as he looked at you enraged. You motherfucker! He was could get out before the front door to the candy shop burst open, and the sound of kids yelling coming to everyone's ears. Daddy! Both Funky and the Pound yelled as they ran to you. Their air and suit corner shifted when they ran in. The anger was lifted, and the feeling of happiness quickly took its place. Bending down, you moved your arms out to grab both Pumpkin and Pound and left them into the air as you stood back up to your full height. Hey, what are you two doing out of school so early? School doesn't finish for a couple of hours. Both children began to giggle before anything to you. That's
Miss
still a girl's voice, so go ahead.
Miss Cheerily had an accident, and Mr. McIntosh had to take her to the hospital.
Pumpkin said, a little sad as her teacher maybe hurt. Cup stood next to you and began to giggle herself.
Miss 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 Cheerily is fine, kids. She's just having a baby.
She finished with a wide smile and sparkles in her eyes.
Well, really?
The kids said in unison. You gave them a nod before giving them a happy hug. Pound, pumpkin, pound, pumpkin. Carrot said in only a whisper, but was still loud enough to grab their attention.
Hello, mister.
Pumpkin said to Carrot in his usual eccentric personality. Pound didn't say anything for a second. He kept his eyes on Carrot, but judging him as he stood there. Your son looked back to you with a questioning brow and look of uneasiness on his face.
So who's this guy?
He finally said. The air grew still as your son's question was unanswered. You looked back to Cups. He didn't show any emotions, and neither did you. Gently, you put both your son and daughter down, told them to grab a cupcake and head upstairs. But before they left to do so, you told them you would be up there, play some games soon. All three of you watched the kids head upstairs, a cupcake in one hand and a cup of milk in the other. When you heard the door to the close to their bedroom, you heard another. behind you as the front door to the bakery slammed shut. Turn around, you found. Turn around. Where the hell? I lost my spot. Hang on. Here it is. Turn around, you found Cup was alone now. Carrot had left once the kids climbed up the stairs into their bedroom. You know he was going to cry. He left everything now. He lost everything now, and it was his fault for doing this in the first place. But you glad he left. If it wasn't for him leaving, you wouldn't have your beautiful wife, you wouldn't have your adored children, and you wouldn't be working at this place you call home. Pulling your wife close, you turn the two of you around from the door and begin back to the kitchen. Come on, Cup. We should start baking again. We have an order to fulfill for later on tonight. Cup was reluctant at first, but agreed when you after you gave her a kiss. She was sad to see her ex-husband again, but was kinda happy to see him so distraught about everything that happened in his absence. You and your wife began baking again, filling orders as customers began to come by once again. Things were slow at first. The two of you felt kind of bad about the whole situation that happened earlier. But the day began to brighten when Pumpkin and Pound came down from their room. They finished their homework, and then you impressed them. You respect them and find that them to be in perfect order. You and Cook give them both a kiss and a hug, telling them how proud you both were, and for them being so smart. You let them leave, allowing them to go and play with their friends for the rest of the day. Things kept getting better when you received a few special orders. One was a special type of candy that you would make for intimate moments for couples. Let's just call it what it is, edible lingerie.
Oh my god.
Maybe for your Highness King Discord and Queen Celestia for their 1 year anniversary.
Oh my god. No. All
You
the
were in
ships are here.
You were in hysterics after receiving that order. You had a hunch that the king, being who he was, would be the one to wear the edible lingerie instead of Queen Celestia. He did show up in a dress at the official wedding, but snapped his fingers to wear his tux when Celestia found her soon-to-be husband in a wedding dress of his own.
Wow.
And you still have a photo of him in his wedding dress on the wall of funnies.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, the other orders were simple: an it, extracted cake for a local bachelorette party, more edible lingerie. This one for Flash Sentry and his boyfriend, Shining Armor.
No! No! You're killing me!
You were sad for
What
Princess
is
Cadence.
this? Why? Please! What did you have in your fucking mind? What were you smoking?
Okay,
Why?
you were sad for Princess Cadence when the news came out of her husband cheating on her with a fellow guard, a male one at that, but happy in the end when she hooked up with the Special Forces soldier, Kelton, what that say?
What?
Clayton Carmine?
Clayton Carmine.
Carmine, okay. Now, what else? Oh, yes, there was a very special order that came in from the Dragonlands up north. A wedding cake that was to be made to be 12 foot high, to have six layers, to be in cases and gems. The figure was to be made specifically to portray physical, to partner physical. The game, the groom's Grobble, has his name was to be in a sharp tuxedo, showing off his tail and complementing his scales, and the other groom's bike was to be bathed into the lovely wedding dress that was created by his former crush, Reddy, back before he realized he loved for Grobble. The dragon
What?
picked on him back when he first went to the journey to the dragon's migration.
So,
That's just
so
fucking.
okay, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a timeout here. So he had a crush he created by his former crush on Rarity back before he realized his love for Garble. Okay, so there's we're seeing like a lot of shift changes here, and not really for the better. I mean, so Spike is trying to get with Garble. We got Flash Sentry going with fucking Shining Harbor. Oh, this is killing me. Oh,
Okay, let's keep going. We probably got
no.
some more in here. It was going to be tricky, but with regular orders of these new special orders coming in, you knew things would be great. They was winding down. Others were finishing the supplies off to their don't the destination. You and Cup were about to close up shop only until a hyper young girl with bouncy pink hair came running into the shop. Pinkie Pie and her husband Cheese Sandwich came out of the way all the way from Las Vegas for their bachelor friend's bachelor and
Bachelorette.
bachelorette party. Turns out that the extra cake you made was for Pinky friend Rainbow Dash, celebrating her up and coming wedding to her fiance, Warrant Officer A239 email Wilson. Oh,
Williams. That's my last name.
William. My mouth is dry. Hang on.
Blah, 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 blah.
Anyway, I've never heard of that person before. I think it's probably an OC. There we go. Pinky and Cheese Sandwich kept you both from closing for nearly 2 hours. They both went on and on how after years of waiting, Rainbow and Email were finally trying the knot, and how happy they were that all of their friends were finally married. It kept a surprise. It's kind of a surprise everyone that Twilight, being the Queen's student, stayed away from her studies and found companionship with her husband, Doctor Who. Okay. And for Felicia, a timid girl that had behind her hair when she first met you, married the local couch and pin store owner, that Divineport. Oh, fuck it. Funny how time flies
Davianport.
during the years.
Davianport.
I know I kept trying to say it, but my mouth wouldn't want to. Funny how time flies during the years. Pinky and Cheese finally said their goodbyes and left to the local motel where they would stay for the week for Rainbow and Nemo's wedding. As they left, you and Cup told them to watch the happy couple your best as you waved them goodbye. Now it was time for bed. The day was a bit strange, but in the end, it was all right. Reflected back when Carrot came to the shop. Cup told you that he asked her for forgiveness, but she quickly blew him off just for asking such a stupid thing. After he hurt her, there was no way Cup would let him return. Their lives would never be as they used to be, and now that Cup had you to love the rest of her life, she wouldn't want to change a thing. Like I said, it was time for bed. The kids were up in their room, waiting for the two of you to take them to bed, as you both usually do every night, and read them both a bedtime story. Hey, Cup, why don't you go ahead and take the kids to bed, and I'll finish up here. Carrot turned to you from the table she was cleaning and gave you a smile.
Sure thing, sweetie. What else is there left to do?
I just have to take off the trash that I can be all. Then I'll be done.
All right then, Schmoopy. Oh God.
She said. She says, saying the little nickname she gave you before giving a kiss on the cheek. You watch your wife leave the dining room, her hips swaying as she climbed the stairs. There were two words in your mind that kept repeating over and over again as you watched her go. That ass.
Dead ass, boy.
A tip
What
chip,
did you What did you see, Daddy?
a short trip outside, placing the garbage inside the bin. You stayed out for only a minute or two as you watched the small town you moved into begin to fill into its own slumber. House lights flicker off as the day comes to an end. The crisp cold air of the night breeze by you, making you shiver. You made your way back into the bakery and back, looked around to find everything in order. No mess or leftovers. Food to be cleaned up or put away. With a shrug, you went upstairs to check on the kids, only to find them peacefully sleeping inside their separate beds. You went to the 2 pounds bed, gave him a kiss on the head, wishing him a good night's sleep before moving over to Pumpkin's bed on the other side of the small room. Some as you did with Pound, you gave her a kiss on the head, also wishing her a good night's sleep. Good night, my little pumpkin, you said before moving to their bedroom door. You stopped over about to fully close the door, but before you did, you heard the soft voice as Pumpkin speak. Good night, Daddy. I love you. Hearing Pumpkin say that, those words brought a tear to your eye. In a whisper of your own, you replied back, not knowing if the words could be heard. Daddy loves you too, Pumpkin. Daddy loves you too. Down the hall, you made your way to the master bedroom where you and Cup had been sleeping together ever since that one night all those years ago. You were curious at the moment. The door cracked open and Cup had gone to the bedroom before you, but the light in the room was off. Curious. Opening the door, you looked inside the room to see if Cup was indeed there. You couldn't see much, only a few or two in front of you were visible, thinking the night light in the hall. Cup, baby, where are you? A soft laugh, once you only recognized from Cup. Giggling were heard further inside the bedroom.
I'm on the bed, dearie. No need to be concerned.
Why are all the lights off? You questioned. Cups just giggled for some reason, then she specifically asked you to just fix that problem.
Well, why don't you turn them on, big boy?
She spoke with that over so sexy tone of hers. In a flash, you flicked on the light to your master bedroom and see on the sight before you bade your face go pale as blood redirected its quickly engaging member in your pants. There a cup sat on the edge of your queen size bed, naked, her chocolate brown sugar skin glowing from the intimate lights, her two-tone hair perfectly coiffed like she was always worried, her magnet eyes half lidded, a smack on her lips as she sexily bit down on her finger, her large, luxurious breasts that had you begging to squeeze, and those Hershey Hershey kisses nipples that you sucked on previous nights. Cup's legs open wide, giving you a perfect view of her beautiful pink pussy lips.
See something you like?
Her tone was soft and seductive. All you could do for an answer was to nod your head as you closed the door, turning the lock left. An audible click was heard, saying that no one could walk through in case anything happened. Quickly, you removed your shirt, showing Cup your toned upper body before you could work on removing your pants. Cup picked herself up off the bed and walked to you. Wiping her arms around your neck, she brought you to a passionate kiss. Your tongues were swallowed with one another. Your Cup her ass with both hands, squeezing her plump bottom, coaxing a moan from her. Breaking the kiss, a small strand of saliva still kept the two of you connected, even for a brief moment before you wiped the strand away from Cook's lips with your thumb. After everything that happened today, I didn't think you would still be up for this Cup. It was true with the whole order with Carrot. Then Pinky come in, but both you thought you thought you wouldn't put a dampener on what you and Cup wanted to do earlier. Cup began to giggle as she took your hands in her own. She laid you back onto the bed, facing you to lay down on your back as she pursed herself all up and straddled your waist. Her wet slit began to slip the crotch of your pants. If you could get any harder from what Cup had been doing to you, your aching cock would have. tearing a hole right through your pants and plunge into the depths of Kate's glorious pussy. Cup bent forward, her large breasts portioned against your chest as she fiercely began to prep your neck in kisses. You wouldn't let last her do all the work, even with a smile on your face. You again further as an audible smack was rained inside the room, following a loud moan from your wife.
Oh, I love it when you do that.
She cried out as she gathered her hips, gyrated her hips.
Do it again.
Another smack and a loud moan ran throughout your room as Cup's luscious ass jiggled and red man pants began to show. Cup moved her way down your pants. With a smile, she began to unbutton them. Using her teeth, she grabbed the zip. Oh, damn, didn't want to come back up. She grabbed the zipper with her button, with them before moving down. Lift yourself up with your elbow, getting a better view of what was to come. Looking into Cut's eyes, you could see that part of the pent up lust that she was hiding and threw out the door. And without even realizing it, you looked into her eyes. She had completely stopped, strapped you in both pants and boxers. Your memory stood erect, the same as the first time you both began to become intimate. You could feel your member pulsating as Cup's lips were a more inches away from kissing the head. Without a word, Cup brought out her tongue, licking from the base of your member to the tip. You let out a small gasp as the cup ran circles around the bed before loosen her tongue inside the urinal. She slowly began to bob her head down, taking your cock into her mouth inch by inch with her beautiful, magnet eyes just never leaving yours. A groan began to emit from Cut's mouth as she heard the head of your dick hit the back of your wife's throat. She caught she caught the bit, taking it as much air as she could before her Cut completely bottomed out and her nose bumping against your stomach. Cut began moving back up and up all till her lips finally come past the head of your member. She began sucking off much as she could before she relented the head with a loud pop. You gr- you groaned as Cup took your member into her hand and began to massage your cock. A sly smile crept upon your lover's face as she decided to take another approach to approach to tongue to Nate. Hang on, I need to get something to drink. My mouth's starting to get all cotton mouthy looking.
All right, take your time.
Okay, here we go. Moving up, Cup placed your cock dick in between her large breasts. She began moving up and down repeatedly, and every time your head would pop out from her cleavage, Cup would take a tentative lick as she lipped up the pure that was beginning to build up around the head. You couldn't take it much more. The softness of her breast, the feeling of her tongue licking the head of your cock while beginning to be too much. Cup, I'm not going to last much longer, you said. The only made Cup move faster, pushing her breast further against your member and quickening her pace. With a beautiful gas, with a powerful gas, you exploded, streams of cum leaving the flared head of your cock and splashing up and over your wife's breast and face. You were spent from your wife's lustful, cheaty fucking, but you knew the night was still young and that you have to yet to give the woman you love the wonderful pleasure she so rightfully deserved. You panted a bit, watching Cut push her breast up and licking the cum off, watching the spectacular. You couldn't help but feel your member begin to reach its full length, even after you just finished ejaculating. Pulling Cup from where she was, you brought her to where she knew. She now straddled your face. Her slip was wet from her own juices. You couldn't wait to lick it all and lap up any and all of her secret from form before form perfect pink pussy. Damn, they got a lot of misspelled stuff in here, don't they?
What?
I said they got a lot of misspelled stuff in here.
Yeah, I know. But
Cup,
it's okay, dude. Let's just keep on going.
Cup moaned and gasped as your tongue touched the folds of her slit. The shift of her clit you teased as you dug deep, looking around it. Cup moaned louder and louder with each flick. You were sure she would come to orgasm soon if you kept up your ministrations. Slowly down juices a bit, just a bit. You reached out to the bedside table, opened the drawers, grabbing the device that will send the sex level up another notch. Being sliding the blue vibrator across Cup's slit, coating it with her own juices, making her moan from the contact. When you brought it with enough, when you thought it was enough, you removed the lube vibrator and returned the licking with your wife's warm pussy. Cup knew what's coming next. She could feel the rubber blue vibrator press against her anus, waiting to enter. Cup unclenched her ass muscles, letting the device slowly make its way inside. When the vibrator reached its peak, Cup let out a loud moan, feeling the device deep inside of her backside. Dark side. Luke, come to the
The
dark side.
dark side. The black hole theory was based on her ass.
Your grand hearing her moan like that, but that changed when you flipped on the switch and listened to her moans become loud gasps as she tried to take advantage of everything in. Oh, does she?
Oh goodness.
She exclaimed with each gasp. With everything beginning to heat up further, you took your hands and placed them right on Cup's hips, spreading them, giving your tongue more room to give her the good tongue fucking she deserves. Your wife gasp became screams of pleasure when your tongue dove into her depths of her pussy. Like it for you, you heard Trixie's soundproof the room a few years back. Your wife panted for breath as your tongue scratched inside her for the one spot that it loved to tease the most. And if Cup's body going rigid and meant everything you would say you found it. It took all but 3 licks against her G spot for your wife to succumb to her impending orgasm. Oh, and another thing, loves about Cup. She's a squirter. Her pussy lips ran cold, her entire body shivered in delight, and the concept of her pent up juices struck against your face. Fascinating. Faster. Oh, that's you. No, that's me.
Hmm.
Frosting, she
Ooh,
said,
is it
licking.
vanilla flavored?
You said licking the juices off your lips.
I.
Yeah, no,
Oh goodness, that was intense.
Cup said as she huffed for air. Cup's legs wobbled a bit, turning to give out and letting her sexy plump self to drop on you. We're not done yet, Cup. You moved your wife back down where you hit hung manhood was prodding at Cup's plump lips, her massive breasts pushing against your chest, and now you both were now face to face. Cup ran her tongue across your face, licking her own juices. She hummed for a bit, savoring the flavor. Remember applied and slid against her folds, coaxing a gas and shiver from the wife. Cup's back ached as she heard of your member pushed inside. She looked down at you with a loving and salty smile. You know what that look meant, and your dick couldn't get any harder just than what it was at that most moment. With both speed and strength, you flipped your position with Cup. Now she was the one laying back on the bed. With you hovering above her, your manhood began to prod at her entrance.
Come on, big boy. Give Mama what she wants.
That was all the and what the fuck did I say?
And
Incentive.
all the
Incentive.
incentive.
Yeah, that was all the incentive you needed to begin your pounding, with speed you won't, and shoving all 11 inches, damn, of hard
What
cocking
the fuck? That is a big ass dick.
her gate or cup's pussy. Your wife screamed in both pain and pleasure. I imagine she did as she came each second that night, with your large member hitting the cervix with. You began pumping in and out again and again. Look on Cup's face told you she was in nirvana from such carnal pleasure. Her eyes rolled back and gasps, moans, and screams filled the room. You knew if this room wasn't soundproof, then you were sure the authorities would have come breaking down your door. Damn. Because Cup's pussy clenched at the middle orgasm hit her full force. She was on the edge of passing out from orgasm bliss as you pounded her with every inch of your being. You were at your limit yourself. The feeling of your wife's pussy clenching and needing your date was breaking you down with one final pump and a roar that would satisfy even the most beautiful-hearted stallion. Soldier, that you finally release your full essence into your wife. Cup's stomach began to bulge as you pumped strand after strand of cum inside her uterus. Semen and vaginal juices begin flowing from Cup's abused lips. Her body becomes so full from the high levels of cum you ejaculated. You feel beside your wife, panting as you breathing in the musky and sex-filled air of the bedroom. You looked at the left to see Cup, your sexy as hell wife, knocked Cherry the fuck out for another night of instant lovemaking. With a loving kiss to your wife's lips, you pulled Cup into close, spooning her. But before you could fall to blissful dreams of your wife and kids, you remember the rubbit. Why does it say it like that?
Ribbed vibrator.
Ribbed? You sure? There's
Yeah, that's ribbed. Like it has ridges.
why don't they fucking just say ridges then? Vibrator still
Well,
inside into Cup's anus. You slowly pull the device, getting a moan from Cup. Once the vibrator was finally out, you switched it off and tossed it beside the bed. Now it was sleepy time. You always look forward to sleepy time. Transition!
transition.
When the next day began, you and Cup showered together before heading downstairs to start preparation for the day. You let the children sleep for another hour or two, since Chili wasn't for the teaching until a substitute come replace her for the time being. Grabbing a cup of coffee off the counter, you walked into the front door. You grabbed the daily newspaper, but before you could, oh, damn, here we go again. But before, so you patted your wife on the ass just as you passed the archway to the dining area. Cup didn't say anything. She only giggled and went back to making breakfast. Opening the front door, you caught the beautiful sight, the sun rising over the horizon, nearly full clouds in the sky, the sun giving a pinkish hue. Yeah, today is going to be a good day, you said, watching the small town of Ponyville wake up. The nearly engaged Rainbow Dash and her soon-to-be husband, Email, were doing their daily morning run. Wave at them as they caused Sugar Cube Corner and ran, returned their way back. You watched them ran off and you noticed Rainbow had a spring in her step or something similar when she ran. She must be a happy girl in the president right now. Looking down, you saw the Ponyville Daily newspaper all wrapped up and ready for reading. Taking a sip of your coffee, you picked up the paper, taking the rubber off. You unfolded the newspaper to see what the news was for the day. And right smack dab in the front page was something that made you spit out your coffee and choking fit. Man found hung to death in Ponyville Park. is what the newspaper read. Placing your coffee on top of the mailbox, she began reading the paper to see what all this was about. When Palmer Tower struck midnight, a deputy with Palmer Police caught sight of a man hanging from a tree in Palmville Park. This man was quickly identified as Carrot Cake, former owner of local sweet shop, Sugar Cube Corner, and ex-husband to the woman formerly known as Cupcake. When the body of Carrot
Oh.
was found, a suicide note was found tapped into his body, explaining his failure and regrets. It went on is how he wished he could return back time to undo his mistakes. You stopped reading and there and put reading and no point reading any further. You took your cup off the mailbox, taking a long swig further off with what was left. You looked back at the paper before shaking your head. Poor bastard.
Poor That's all he has to say. Poor bastard.
You said you said just as you returned back to your own home. I wonder how Cup is going to react to this. John
No.
Gary
John
breakfast.
Deere, breakfast is ready.
Oh yes, okay. Your wife son grabbing your full attention. I'll tell her about the breakfast. I am John. What does it say?
I'm John. I'm John Shepherd.
Oh, I am John Shepard, and a Sugar Cube Corner is my favorite entry in Eccrestia. P.S. Cup took the news well. She didn't cry or anything like that. All she did was give you a kiss on the cheek, and started baking. I'm sorry, most of this is pure crap, but fuck it. Author's note is what it says.
I'm sorry. Most of this is just pure crap. Just fuck it, you know? Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We had fun reading it.
Until
And,
next time, this has been a Race Wing Story Time.
but yeah, what did you
And
think? What did you fucking think about that story?
yeah, let me know in the comments.
God damn, this story was a whole shit fest.